Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about Andrew Yang and the November 20th, Atlanta, MSNBC, Washington Post debate number 5. And that is only, it's only 8 days away, all right? It's very, very close, just about a week before we hit it, right? I am super psyched. Andrew Yang always gets momentum on these. He always shows improvement. And I'm really excited because I think there's a possibility for a boom moment in this. I really think there's a real significant possibility for a very big boom moment in debate number 5, specifically for Andrew Yang. Now, where would that come from? That would come from money and geniuses, right? He actually has, he now has a lot of money, and he's been able to staff up with some of the smartest, most capable, most competent political advisors in America, right? And so they should be able to give him some tactics. They should be able to prepare him to have a boom moment, right? Now, boom moments are really, really interesting. They're like when you hit a really solid zinger, when you have a moment on camera, right? And they're more important than ever because of the ubiquitous camera, right? The ubiquitous camera shapes our lives now, and it absolutely shapes our politics, okay? All right, so let's talk this through. All right, actually, so what are we going to talk about today in conjunction to Andrew Yang and the November 20th Atlanta MSNBC Washington Post debate number 5? In addition to that, what we're going to do today is I am going to take you on a tour of the history of the most significant event in every single qualifying candidate's, for the debate number 5. I'm going to summarize their entire campaign to date in a single word, okay? Now, I'm really, really into summary. I absolutely love summary, right? I'm a huge Dungeons & Dragons fan. Dungeons & Dragons is a super special game to me. I literally own every single edition of the game. They sit on a bookshelf in my house like a shrine. I have all 3 core rule books for 1st edition, 2nd edition, 3rd edition, 4th edition, and 5th edition, right? But my favorite tabletop role-playing game is a game called Index Card RPG, and it is a summary of Dungeons & Dragons. It's a boil down. It's a redux, right? Summary is super important, right? We don't have a lot of time in this life, right? And so you need to be able to summarize, right? And so I want to prepare everybody for November 20th, Atlanta, MSNBC, Washington Post, debate number 5, by giving you a summary of every single candidate in a single word, the most impacting, significant event that has happened to date in their campaign. Now, there are a few candidates, right? Actually, it's about half, that don't have a significant event has occurred, right? I will give you the word that best summarizes the nature of their campaign, right? But if they have an event, I'm gonna prioritize the event, all right? I will. So actually, let's start it right now, and I'll start with number 1, right? Andrew Yang, right? He's all we care about in this next debate, and the whole world revolves around him, right? So all these other candidates are just trying to gain ground against him, right? All right, Andrew Yang. What is the one word, and what event does it remind us of? The one word is applause. I think the most significant event of Andrew Yang's campaign has been the applause in debate number 3, where he actually announced that he was going to give UBI to 10 families. That's great, whatever. But the important event was Pete Buttigieg having to wait to talk while Andrew Yang's applause died down. It was huge. It was a turning point in the entire campaign, right? One, it was a mic drop, right? And he was like, I am here. I am Andrew Yang. All of you have underestimated me, right? I am a true threat. I will snatch the presidency from you, right? Anybody thinks that I showed up here, a declawed cat, you are wrong. I got claw bite, right? He showed right then that no one could ignore him, right? And you could see that and it shocked people, right? Their reactions, Amy Klobuchar laughed, right? And there was coverage, showing how she was laughing at another opponent. And the reactions were quite extraordinary, right? Another thing is, I am convinced that one moment has reshaped every single debate, right? Right now, the geriatric crowd, right? Biden, Warren, Sanders, right? I don't know who did it for them, but it is my opinion that somebody took out the opening and the closing statements. I think at minimum they took out the opening statement in debate number 4. And the reason why is you don't want these people talking freeform, right? You know, like basically in order to do a freeform, you got to be quick. You have to be incredibly quick-witted, right? And the reality is the human body and the human mind breaks down with time. Period. That's a fact. I'm not like making that up, right? When you have reached the age of at minimum 50, right? Your body and your brain is going to start to break down. You are struggling and fighting every day to keep the dynamism, to keep the vibrancy, to keep the resilience you have, right? And so the reality is we are seeing incredibly clearly right now, right, that Warren, Biden, Sanders, their age is an attribute that they have that they are desperately fighting against. They are desperately fighting the clock, right? We need the candidate we're going to choose to fight for America, right? And so I really think that Andrew Yang's applause, making Buttigieg and making every other candidate wait while the audience clapped their hands for Andrew Yang, said, you cannot let this guy go off the leash. Leash them all, right? Leash everybody, because Yang cannot be let off the leash, right? Because he'll tear throats out, right? Like political throats, right? He proved then he was a danger to every single person on that stage. I love that moment. It is my favorite moment of the entire campaign. I believe that it was so powerful, right, that is why the opening statements disappeared in the 4th debate, and very well may be gone in the 5th and all remaining debates, because they're realizing, oh, look at this. The Democrat Party has a bunch of people in their late 70s who want to run for presidency, and guess what? Unfortunately for the Democrat Party, time still exists and science still exists. And when you're 77 years old, or when you're 70 or older, right, you are fighting for every single scrap of your remaining mental facilities and your remaining physical facilities, right? You are battling time itself. And it really doesn't have anything to do with Biden. It doesn't have anything to do with Sanders. It doesn't have anything to do with Warren. It doesn't have anything to do with Bloomberg. We as the Dems are asking the world to shut up and listen to science and pay attention, because climate change matters and science matters, right? But then we're all saying, hey, let's forget the fact that the human body is no longer getting better at the age of 70 and above in anything, right? Like, human bodies are affected by time, period. Science, right? Like, you will not find a single scientific study that tells you that anything a human being can do gets better at the age of 77 or 78. Nothing, right? It is not the best time. And Bernie Sanders has proven that it's literally dangerous. It's dangerous for him, it's dangerous for those around him, and it clearly seems to be becoming dangerous for the country itself, right? Like, it's shocking, right? All right, thanks for your patience on that, sorry. All right, applause, all right? Let's do Biden, Warren, and Sanders, right? What is the one? So Elizabeth Warren doesn't have a single event. She doesn't have a single event. There's nothing special. There's never been a significant event for Elizabeth Warren. But there is one word that thoroughly sums up Elizabeth Warren's campaign, and that is tax, right? Wealth tax, right? Wealth tax. She has declared herself an enemy to every millionaire and billionaire in this country, right? And the reality is, I think it's a lot more, and it matters more than Bernie, Bernie, like, you don't even hear it anymore, right? Like, millionaires and billionaires. It's mocked on SNL. It's a mantra. It's a ringtone. You know, like, it doesn't mean anything. He said it too many times, right? And the other thing is, he's a socialist, right? Oh, you're a socialist and you want to take property from Americans. Duh, that's what socialists do. We already knew that, right? You're just repeating yourself. But Elizabeth Warren is different, right? Elizabeth Warren is a very savvy, very sharp, right, political predator, right? And she's saying, yeah, I will straight wreck millionaires and billionaires in this country. I will take what is yours, right? And it has really defined her as a rival, an enemy to everyone who has achieved wealth in this country, right? And she's not backing down from it. She's seriously owning it, right? And that's interesting too, right? So Elizabeth Warren, tax, all right? Sanders, heart. Boy, that guy's got heart. Like, he has completely redefined what it means to run for presidency. He has declared all in, right? There is the law pain rule. You do not break the law, you do not hurt people. Other than that, there are now absolutely no limits for what will be sacrificed to win the presidency, right? Bernie Sanders immediately, I'm talking immediately, right? Going right back into the 2020 election, right after a heart attack, has completely redefined, saying, if you ain't all in, you had better get the heck out, right? Because Bernie Sanders was willing to die for it, right? He's completely redefined commitment for all candidates. Incredible, right? Biden, corn, right? It points to corn pop. Biden had an event. Like, oh, by the way, of course, Sanders had an event. Like, that heart attack is the event that will define the 2020 election, right? Because Bernie was like, heart attack, smart attack, let's roll, right? I will die for this, right? And that is baller. That is straight baller, right? I have to say, I do not like that Bernie is in the race, but boy, do I respect that dude, man. Ain't nobody willing to put more on the line than him, right? All right, so even Yang, like, you know, like, you cannot be more committed than being willing to spend your own life for a single day in the Oval Office, right? So the reality is, I do not like saying this. Sanders beats Yang in commitment. Sadly, he doesn't beat him in capability. That's why you should not vote for Bernie's. But that dude, he is grit. He is pure grit. Like, that's just, you just don't get more hardcore than that. It's crazy. All right. Okay. Corn. So Biden. Corn pop, right? Corn pop. Corn pop is an event, right? Sanders had been going on, and everybody was like, oh, hey, this is cute. Like Obama's sidekick. Obama's Robin, right? Like, yeah, Obama's sidekick. That's cool. We all liked Obama. Biden did a great job as vice president. Bet. We hear you. All right. Okay. You're back in, right? Corn Pop turned the tables. I really think Corn Pop changed everything. It was this weird story that he told at the side of a pool. It was maybe 2-3 months ago. And he told this story about, like, when he was a lifeguard in the 40s or the 50s or the 30s. I don't know, right? And it was talking about rusty chains and razor blades and, different, people who are having physical skirmishes, right? And it was just like, and basically everybody knew that Biden had sentiment from a different age, but it just told people that his thoughts were in a different age, right? It was like, he really isn't, he doesn't have solutions for now. Like, that became instantly clear when he told the Corn Pop story, and I really think it changed things for him. All right, let's talk about BBC, Buttigieg, Booker, and Klobuchar. All right, Buttigieg, loss, okay? People are losing their lives in South Bend, man. This is all like, this has become like, okay, so Bernie has redefined being all in. Pete Buttigieg has redefined being leased in, right? Basically, he is still the mayor of South Bend, right? And that place is falling apart. There are events happening there. There are deaths happening there. right, that are exactly the type of deaths that are being discussed in many of the debates, saying, hey, we have this terrible problem. It centers around heritage. It centers around law, right? And there's these terrible types of death. And so they're talking about it in the abstract, right, in the debates. But it is happening quite literally in South Bend, right? And it's gotten to the point where people are like, dude, you're mayor. What the heck, right? Like, I know you want to be president, but like maybe take care of the city that you're literally the mayor of, right? Like, and I think, and I think this is unfortunate for Pete, right? But I feel like it looks a lot worse when you're a mayor, right? Because you only have one mayor, right? With senators, there's some other congressman doing the same nonsense you're doing, right? And the reality is, the Senate and the Congress do so little anyway. When's the last time they made a law, or passed anything, or moved anything, right? Almost never, right? They do so little, right? But that is not the case with the mayor. A mayor actually serves people. Like, they really, cities rely on them, right? And Pete's like, I'm going to run for president while I'm mayor. I'm not going to give up my seat or let someone else do the job with the authority the job needs. I'll just put an assistant. I don't know, whatever. People are dying for his run. He is redefining how little you can commit to actually running. His campaign is defined by the word loss. Okay? All right. Booker. No event here. And by the way, there's really no event for Pete Buttigieg. It's just his whole campaign is defined by loss, right? Booker, no event, right? It's just, and the word that sums up his entire campaign is smile. He smiles all the time, a lot, right? More than any other candidate, he has this big, big, bright, winsome smile, right? But the problem is, it's kind of like, why are you smiling so much, right? I get that you want to have fun on the campaign, but he never, it doesn't really seem like he's ever serious. And I kind of feel like the smile shows up too much, right? And it's what I remember from him. His policies are so milquetoast. There is absolutely nothing definitional, nothing significant, nothing dramatic, nothing rememberable, right? Booker has not a single memorable policy, right? Nothing really unique, nothing innovative. It's almost like he's asking you just to vote for the smile, right? His campaign is captured by the smile. I just remembered. No, I'm not going to go there. All right. All right. Here we go. All right. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I'm suppressing forethoughts right now. All right. I got it. All right. We're good. Okay. So I really think, so the smile is the thing, and it's important, right? So that's there. All right. Klobuchar, practical. She is incredibly practical. The biggest thing she did was she did have an answer for one of the debate questions, and it was, would you do optional buybacks rather than mandatory buybacks on NRA devices? And she said, yeah, I would do optional buybacks because it's practical, right? And that sums her entire campaign. She is incredibly practical. And in addition to that, people are looking at her as a great, people are now looking at Klobuchar as hey, if Elizabeth Warren can't take the heat or bounces out, right, Kloby's the one, right? It's interesting. All right. Okay, let's talk about Steyer, Harris, and Gabbard. All right, Gabbard, acid, Russian acid. Right? Hillary Clinton called Tulsi Gabbard a Russian acid. What the heckity heck? Right? Crazy. I couldn't believe she did it. It was one of the most shocking events that has happened in the entire election. I have no idea why Hillary would do this. It made her look terrible. It made her look foolish. It made her look very unfair, right? And it absolutely put rocket boosters on Tulsi Gabbard, right? Can't believe it. I think Hillary Clinton is ridiculously wrong, and Tulsi Gabbard is an asset to this nation. She is an American asset. That's the only asset she is. She is an American asset. And frankly, she's a Democrat asset. She is going to be the best VP that has ever been born, right? All right. Steyer, late. That dude is late for work, and he's got a latte. Get him out of here. I do not like that dude. He is setting a very bad example for everyone. He's like rolling into work literally late with a latte in his hand and saying, make me the boss. It's absurd. Do not like him. All right. He's just late. That's the whole word that defines him, right? All right. Steyer, Harris. All right. Kamala Harris. All right. The word that defines her is me. She says I. She says me a lot. But when she said it and it really mattered was when she went political daggers out on debate number 1. Went straight at Biden, right? And hit him with an incredibly personal attack. And that really said, Obama never did his job. He never vetted you. Basically, Kamala Harris cut through Obama. Cut through Obama's image and politically stabbed Biden early. And you know what we found out? People didn't like attacks. It set the tone for the entire election that if you are going to attack somebody, you'd better be careful. You had better not look like you planned it, and it had better not look as vicious as what Kamala Harris did on debate 1, right? It was bad. And it was the me word, right? That's it. That's all 10 people who have qualified for this debate. That is all of their campaigns in a single word, right? I am hoping that this helps you be prepared for the debate. And I put this here today because I think summary is incredibly, incredibly important. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this, to get prepared for the November 20th Atlanta MSNBC Washington Post debate number 5. Get hyped. We're almost there. All that's my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.